Welcome back to the Crochet Corrado. So it's my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the high tide crochet blanket. This is a sweeping blanket using Bernat Blanket Ombre yarn, where the yarn has been gradated to give you a look that looks like this. Today you'll need an 8mm size L crochet hook in order to play. So this is an example of the yarn, and you can see that the gradation is changing on its own. So there's actually different colors that are in here, which gives you the look of what you see here. So it needs a total of 7 balls, and what you want to do is that when one color finishes, you want to kind of grab the next gradation up so that it can keep gradating. Just like you see, gradation just means that it keeps changing the fading of the color. So the ombre is really kind of cool for that, and also I love the yardage on this. It will take you a good while to go through, and then you just continue to the next ball. So we're gonna look at the crochet diagram next, and that's on page number 2. So when I flip it over, there's a lot of writing here, and that's because I did a live video with the audience and I was showing them how I figure out the multiples. So the designer told us that it was 105 for the chain. So I wanted to figure out if you wanted to change the size, what would it be? So I figured out that each one of these sweeping is in chains of 17. So multiples of 17, and in order to keep the balance you add 3. So 17, 17, 17, add 3 to the final, and then that'll keep you sweeping up and down just like so. So what I want to do is that I want to show you a little mini sample, because you can use all of these instructions in order to change any size, or you can just chain 105 and keep it nice and straightforward. So grab your size L 8mm crochet hook and let's play. So full transparency, I'm using a regular Bernat Blanket yarn behind the scenes because I just have some spare, because I'm just gonna do a little swatch with you. We're gonna create a slip knot to begin. Now you can either chain 105 and make it easier for yourself, or you can change it to whatever you want by chaining in multiples of 17. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna say 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now I bet you're thinking, gee, that's a long way, but you've got to remember it's gonna sweep up and down. So the distance here changes because once you put a dip, it's not as wide as you think it could be. So I'm gonna do 2 more groups of 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So once I have my groups of 17 done, when you're satisfied with the length of it, just add 3 and that'll stay in balance. So 1, 2, 3, and let's go to the diagram and see what we're gonna get ourselves into next. So in the diagram what's gonna happen is that we're gonna go 4th chain from the hook and double crochet into it, and that's gonna count as the 2 double crochet that are in there. And the next 2 chains we're gonna put 2 double crochets in, and then we're gonna start skipping. So let's figure out how many that we're going to skip. I'm just gonna grab my pencil. So we're gonna skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. So we're gonna have a total of 6 of these gapping spaces. Let's verify that again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's right. So in the future you'll also have that. It should be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that there's gonna be 6 sweeping gapping spaces underneath, and that we have to skip stitches when we go to do that. So that's gonna be kind of an easy. So we're gonna go up and down the peak, and let's begin to do that next. Okay, so we're gonna go 4 chain from the hook. So we're gonna say 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what I like to do is that I like to go into the back hump of a stitch when I go to do that, or of the chain, and I'm gonna double crochet, and that's going to, the chaining that we just skipped over plus this one counts as 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So the next 2 stitches are 2 chains in a row, is that there's gonna be 2 double crochets into each. Take your time going across the chain to make sure you get your counts. So there's gonna be 2 into that one and 2 into the next. So this is kind of half of the peak. So there's gonna be peaks and valleys. So this is half of the peak. Okay, so look at it from that perspective of turning around. So now remember what we told you about skipping. So what we're going to do is just skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next. And we want to keep doing that until we have a total of 6 empty spaces. So you see that you have 1 empty space. So skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, and skip the next, and skip the next. So let's count these empty spaces that we're creating. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not done yet. This is gonna be the 5th empty space. And then what we're going to do is we're gonna skip the last one and we're gonna put 2 double crochets into the next one, and that will give you the 6 empty spaces that you need. And you're starting to go up to the valley, or to the peak, sorry. So there's, in the peaks, there's gonna be 3 groups going up and 3 groups coming down. Let's just verify that we have the right amount of skip spaces here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've already got 2 in there as we head back up, and we're gonna do 2 double crochet in the next one, and then 2 double crochet in the next. So we've officially done one complete section if you were looking at it from a pattern perspective of the repeat. Okay, so you can see that you've gone down, and now you come back up, and now you're at the halfway point, and now we're gonna go down again. Okay, let's review going down. So the next 3 stitches in a row, 3 chains in a row, you're gonna put in 2 double crochets into each. Take your time, make sure you get it right. So 1 and 2 in the first one, and then 1 and 2 into the second one, and then finally the next chain is 1 and 2. And now we're gonna start skipping it. Okay, so we've just officially just gone right up over the top. Okay, up and around. Just gonna back out just a little bit here. Now we're gonna go down. So to do down, you're just gonna skip the next one and double crochet in the next one after that. So you're gonna create those 6 empty spaces again. And then you skip the next one and double crochet in the next one after that. And keep doing that until you get 6 empty spaces. So I'm gonna count how many spaces do I have empty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so the next one, skip the next one. This is gonna be your 6th space, and you're gonna head up to the peak. So that is your 6th space. So this one here has to have 2 double crochets into it as you head back up. So there's gonna be 2 into that one, and then 2 into the very next one. And then finally 2 into the next one, and you've now done half of the peak, and you're gonna be heading down in the next one. Okay, so you can really see it now going up and down just like you see. So what I want you to do is continue in that same fashion. So the next 3 in a row are 2 double crochets each, and then you're gonna start skipping to create your 6 empty spaces and then head back up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to stay quiet, and I'm gonna do that live with you on camera, and then we are gonna continue to the very end, and I'll show you what to do. So we're gonna start off putting 2 double crochets in the next 3. Once you have that done, you start skipping to create the 6 empty spaces. This is the 6 empty space that I'm about to create, and we're heading to the very end. So let's just do that. So this is the 6th space, so the one after it has the 2 in there, and as we head back up to the very final one here, the last 2 stitches that you have, last 2 chains should be 2 double crochets into each. So I might have miscounted because I have one stitch left. If it just has one stitch left, just undo it and then you should be in balance from that particular point. Sometimes you just gotta fake it or make it, right? So now you're gonna have your motions of up and down all the way to the end, and now we're gonna turn our work and complete row number 2. So the nice thing about this particular pattern is that we are going to just turn our work and every other row is exactly identical to each other. So we are just going to follow the path. So we're gonna do front post only and we're gonna do a chain. So just pull up a chain, give it a little bit of slack, and starting in the same one that you're over, you want to do a front post half double. So just wrap the hook coming around the post, stay into the front side, pull through, and now pull through all 3. Now each stitch is going to be a front post half double crochet. So just wrap and into the side of the post and back out the other side and stay to the front side of this. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna create a ridge in the front of your project. So you're technically looking at the back side of the project right now. So there's no decreasing, there's no increasing, it's just one half double crochet into each of the stitches all the way to the end. I'm gonna leave that with you. I'll see you at the end of this row and we'll pick it back up there and we're gonna start then what we already know but with the next row. So you're just going to go all the way across and then you are going to half double crochet the very final one as well. So don't forget to do that. So we're gonna turn our work and now we're going to begin then row number 3. So essentially you know what to do at this point. We're going to do exactly what we did in the first part, but we're going to do it on this one here. So we're not doing it on the chain, but we're doing it on the one. So let's start off now that we understand the pattern a little bit carefully, is that we're going to chain 3. There's your first double crochet and you want to double crochet into the same one. So that one plus 2 more stitches will have 2 double crochets into each. And that is half of the peak. So do you remember how many spaces that we need? Okay, so we're just gonna skip the next one and then you just double crochet in the next and you keep skipping until you have 6 empty spaces once again. So this kind of wave is a little bit different than what I've done in the past. It's got more of a sweeping action to it and the yarn is also being very playful on making it look really good too. So how many empty spaces do we have? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th one and then after the 6th one we put 2 double crochets into that one. So we've got 2 and then the next 2 in the row are each 2 double crochet. Okay, and now you're just at the halfway point on the top of a peak. Do you see it? And now the next 3 coming down are going to be each 2 double crochets. So how many technically are double crochets in a row are there? There's a total of 6 stitches that have 2 double crochets in them as you go up over top of the peak. And you can always verify that count as well. So if you just want to look back you can do that. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now you're gonna start skipping again. So skip the next one, double crochet in the next and create your 6 empty spots. So I want you to do that all the way across. This is row number 3 and this is how hard this pattern is, and what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna come back and then show you how to do that twisted fringing look that appears at the base. And when you get to the end you gotta make sure that you put in your last 3 stitches in are each 2 double crochet because you're at the halfway point of a peak. So the next row is what you already know. You're just going to just turn your work and apply your, just pull up on a chain, give it a little bit of slack, and then start in the front post only and do a front post half double crochet across. And so you're not adding or subtracting here. It's no brainer, just go across and it's really quite easy. And so what you're doing is you're creating these beautiful edging of fringe that you're, or sorry, of it's creating texture. Okay, so what I want to do is that I want to show you how to do the twisting fringe at the top and the bottom. Okay, so let's review doing the top and the bottom fringing area. So let's just pull up the pattern here. So you'll notice that you have this generous draping here. So once you're satisfied with the look of it, you will finish so that the half double crochet on the front post is the last row that you've finished. So I've just come across and now we're ready. So we're going to begin our row number 1 of the fringe, and you're gonna be doing both sides of this, so eventually you'll come back to this side as well. So what you're going to do then for the top side is that you're just gonna chain 1 and you're just going to apply 1 single crochet in each of the stitches going all the way across. So that's all you're just gonna do, and then when you get there at the end there, we're gonna turn around and then do that fabulous fringe work at the end. So let's begin to do that. Okay, for the next section here, after you've done the single crochet across, you're now gonna apply the fringe. So to do this, you're going to need a tape measure or something that you can lay it out on top of, and it says to measure 16 inches. So we want to go, and let me just really back up the camera here, and so we want to do a total of 16-inch length. So what we're going to do is that we are going to chain 1 and we're gonna slip stitch into the first stitch. So just slip, pull through and through, and pull up a loop that measures a total of 16 inches. So just keep pulling until the loop goes to 16. So you need to do that. It'll take a bit of time to do this, but once you get into the rhythm of it, you want to be consistent with your 16. There you go. So in order to continue, I want you to leave it in your finger and I want you to twist it 40 times. So let's start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. So don't let this coil up yet. So what I want you to do is just use this loop here. Okay. So what I want you to do is put the loop onto your hook, and I want you to go back into the same stitch and pull through and through the loop. And what that will do is that this will cause this to wrap around and coil with each other, just like you see. Okay, so now let's go. So we're gonna do slip stitch in the next, and then the next one is gonna have that again. So you're just gonna slip stitch and then pull a total of 16 inches. Okay, once you have your 16, you're just going to loop. So 1, 2, 3. Now that I have my 40, don't let it coil on itself yet. So put it onto the hook, and then go into the same one that you're supposed to be into and pull through and through, and then slip stitch into the next. And when you let it go, just help it feed it a little bit, therefore you'll have these loops just like that. So what you want to do then is that you're gonna go all the way across and do that, and then you're gonna turn it around, and when you're ready for the bottom, single crochet it then on the right side all the way across, and then come back and do this coiling just like you see. So this is how you do the high tide blanket. It's really quite cool, and I think that you could enjoy it at the same time.